barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. So I was listening to Ness today. I find myself listening to a lot of Ness video. That motherfucker everywhere, man. And he was interviewing Billy Joe Saunders, who I actually enjoy listening to Billy Joe Saunders be interviewed, man. That was real refreshing because I have no relationship with him, never interviewed him, don't know him. And Ness said something that kind of perked my ears as it relates to Shawn Porter, Danny Garcia. And you guys take this for what it is. I'm not delving into it, but it's kind of interesting. And I'm going to paraphrase to a quote from Ness. He says he asked them about sparring in Billy Joe Saunders' gym. And he said, and he alluded to the fact of when we come to spar, we fight. And he was making reference to Danny Garcia sparring. He basically says he saw the difference between the sparring between Danny Garcia's camp and Billy Joe Saunders' camp. Danny Garcia's camp uses lesser sparring partners, and he says and his quote to a phrase was, you got to protect the champ, protect the champ when you're getting into a big fight. Now you guys take this for what it's worth. The levels of sparring, but I thought that was interesting. Me personally, I wouldn't release that information leading into a big fight. You understand what I'm saying? Because now you got to ask, not that it would make a difference, because if you've been doing it for years, but you got to answer those questions. Now, why do you have inferior sparring partners? And have you been doing it your entire career? Do you get lighter as you get closer? We're 3 weeks away, so maybe they've done their hard work. I have no idea, but I'm just playing. I just don't know. But typically, me personally, well, I've never trained for a fight, but I've cut weight with professional fighters, and they start cutting. They last sparring matches usually like 10 days, 10 to 14 days prior to their fight, and then they really get aggressive in terms of cutting weight, and your body not necessarily gets weak, but you don't want to take that punishment when you're cutting weight, so you just do a lot of shakeouts, a lot of miles. You get that weight off, you put that albaline on, and you get the miles in, you know what I mean? So but I just thought that was real interesting that Danny Garcia uses inferior sparring partners for his camp leading up to Shawn Porter. I wouldn't do that with the Shawn Porter because of the mindset you have to be in to fight a Shawn Porter. You know, everyone has, and when I mean this, if you ever competed, you've competed against a guy like Shawn Porter, and I'm talking about his aggressionness, like that guy that, oh my God, please, like, damn, I know I gotta be uncomfortable to be successful. You understand what I'm saying? And I think no matter who Shawn Porter fights, there's a level of discomfort / uncomfortability that you must have to win. Shawn Porter, Keith Thurman said that so eloquently about, he was sitting ringside and he did an interview, and he was talking about how Shawn Porter brings basically everything out of you, and he has he said he was alluding to, man, I'm glad I got through that one, basically. You know what I'm saying? So I find it interesting. You guys take it for what it's worth. I wish someone would go down. I know we got a lot of reporters in the New York area and the tri-state area, right? Tri-state area, man. Go down to Garcia's gym, man, and Ness is in he's in the UK right now. I would love. We got a lot of reporters out there in the tri-state area. Y'all should go down and cover the Garcias, man. I mean, it'll probably be worth your while. You know, Danny Garcia and Angel Garcia will definitely get you hits. They gonna give you one soundbite for sure. And but I'm real interested in their camp. Like, now that got me very interested in the details of their camp. Like, because I don't know if they run. I know they got to do some level of running because you got to make weight. But I'm interested to see if they do light sparring. I want to know what type of aggressive work they're doing to get ready for Shawn Porter. I'm real interested in that now. I'm really, because I've been in Shawn Porter's camp. Everything they do has a tempo to it. Everything they do has a level of aggression to it. You understand what I'm saying? And I find it interesting. And it's worked for Danny Garcia. If it's worked, it's worked. Like I said, I've never prepared for a fight, so I have no clue. But you guys know I'm covering this camp from wall to wall. I only sparring partner I know that's in there is Leonardo Tyner. You guys know who I'm talking about. He's like a journeyman between 140 and 154, somewhere in there. Leonardo Tyner, I believe that's his name. And I saw his interviews, but needless to say, Danny Garcia always comes into fight ready. He's only lost one fight in his professional career, so I could just be blowing smoke up everybody's nose. He's been prepared. He's a 2-division world champion. And I don't care what nobody says. His 140 resume is impressive to me. Like, people say he's a cherry picker. See, here's the catch with Danny Garcia, who I find interesting. He's had some tough competitions, and he's had some bona fide bums. You understand what I'm saying? Lucas Matisse was a monster. Amir Khan was basically, in terms of hand speed, like beep beep. Like, who's that? Who I can compare him to? Like a Dave Meggett. Like hand speed. That might be too old for you. Eric Metcalf? No. Who can I say? That little motherfucker that plays on the San Diego Chargers. Scrolls type hand speed, like da, you know what I mean? And he beat them motherfuckers at 140. And I would have loved to see that Amir Khan Danny Garcia rematch. I would love to see that rematch, man, before they get too old. You understand? I would love to see it. Honestly, if Danny Garcia loses this fight, I would like to see Amir Khan win, and I would love to see Amir Khan Danny Garcia. I really would like to see that fight. Or if Danny Garcia wins, if Errol Spence, because they're going to unify, right? If Errol Spence takes that, takes that Mikey Garcia fight, and in January, between December and January, there's a 5-month difference, and Danny Garcia wants to come back in February like he did this past year, I would like to see that fight, Amir Khan and Danny Garcia in February, and then the winner unifies with the winner unifies with what's the kid's name I just said? Errol Spence, and this time next year. And hopefully, well, that fight would be in Vegas, right? Unification bout. I would love for that fight to be in Dallas or New York. I had so much fun in Dallas, man. Dallas, stand up, man. You guys are amazing down there. Only thing I didn't like is my camera overheated because of the weigh-in outside. It was so freaking hot out there. But outside of that, it was all love. I loved how everything was so compressed in one. I stayed at the Omni, which was literally walking distance to the fight. I didn't need a car. Hospitality was great. You guys know, Black Fight Fan, go buy his shirts. Ticket TV, go buy his shirt, go buy his apparel. But I just thought that was just rather interesting that he's using light sparring partners. I wouldn't train light for, it's like me competing against Allen Iverson or Mookie Blaylock. I'm dating myself, guys, so some of you guys may not know who these guys are. But like Mookie Blaylock, Allen Iverson, you know, guys who's going to be in my chest for 94 feet. I would, if basketball was a boxing match and I had to prepare for my position, I would definitely bring in somebody like a Spud Webb or Muggsy Bogues to prepare me for a Mookie Blaylock or an Allen Iverson per se. You understand what I'm saying? Nate Archibald type. I'm not talking about in terms of years. I'm talking about in terms of their talent. Like, you know what I mean? I would want to bring these guys in and help me on my defensive one-on-one game, my offensive one-on-one game. You understand what I'm saying? Just to be overly prepared. You know, Danny Garcia is a pretty laid-back guy. I've interviewed him. I've covered 2 of his fights recently. I covered his other fights, but it wasn't on the YouTube side. It was in the newspaper side, so you guys wouldn't know me then. But I covered him on the YouTube side for Robert Garcia and Brandon Rio. So I've covered those 2 fights. And, you know, he's a pretty laid-back dude. Real confident, real self-assured. He's never wavering on his words. I actually like that. I like Danny Garcia. Like, he got that Danny Garcia got that silent sauce. You know what I mean? And I can tell it's been working for him for a long time. So that's who he is, man. Pretty laid back, confident. Got a lot of style. Got a lot of swagger. You know what I mean? Got style, swagger, sauce. You know what I mean? Put that on the t-shirt. And he got all that. He's pretty cool, pretty laid back. So, but somebody go cover Danny Garcia's camp. If you guys are out there, man, do yourself a favor. Go have fun. You know, we got some reporters out there in the tri-state area, right? The tri-state area is New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania, right? Am I right? Please forgive me. I haven't lived in New York in a long time, so I haven't said the tri-state. I literally ain't said that term in probably 20 years. So forgive me if I don't know the third state. But I think it's Pennsylvania. But anyways, man, barbershop conversations, man. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. You guys read into it how you want to read into it. But for those of you who want a reference point, it's the Ness interview he just dropped with I always want to call him Billy Bob Thornton, the actor. Monsters Ball. Oh man, everybody remember that scene with him and Halle Berry. Wish that was you, right? Wish that was me, right? What's that kid's name? You guys know what I'm talking about. The guy who's fought in Poo Poo Andre, the quote unquote, as what he calls him. Billy Joe Saunders. Billy Joe Saunders. Billy Joe Saunders. So it's up on Nest, the Boxing Voice channel. So feel free to go check that out. And you'll notice it. He's up against the ring, and that's typical. So anyways, man, barbershop conversations, man. Feel free to hit the subscribe button, and talk to you guys real soon. Peace.